got shots fired. We got multiple people down. Ordering multiple medics.
Fear shattering a community. Dayton, the scene of the country's latest mass shooting. Witnesses describing for us the moments it happened.
His body just laid lifeless. There was nothing that could be done.
9 killed, 27 hurt. Tonight, we're hearing from the families of the victims.
I'm glad that I got to see him. I got to see him in a very positive, fun environment. And I'm sad that we won't get to see him like that again.
The shooter shot and killed by police.
We have a lot of evidence to process through.
Investigators trying to find a motive. We're looking deeper into his past tonight. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. As the investigation continues, communities across the state mourn the victims.
We come before you not only hurting, but we come before you fighting.
From Dayton to the State House, those whose lives were lost remembered. Was blind, but now I see. We've got a team of reporters covering every angle.
Fox 28 News at 10 starts with this breaking news alert.
And we do start tonight with the moments of fear shattering the security of the city of Dayton. The sound of gunshots going on for more than 25 seconds. In the end, 9 people were killed and 27 hurt. That shooter, 24-year-old Connor Betts, was taken down overnight, shot and killed by 6 police officers. Also tonight, we're getting a better picture of the fast response by police.
Multiple people down. Ordering multiple medics. We're going to shut the whole street down. We have, looks like 9 or 10 shot. The rear of the hole in the wall, there's 1 shot back there too. 1 shooter confirmed. They're not sure if there is an actual other one. The hole in the wall with 1 shot in the arm.
And again, police say the man behind the attacks is 24-year-old Connor Betts. Investigators raiding his home in Bellbrook, just outside of Dayton, hours after that shooting spree. And you can see that happening right here in this video. And we're also getting surveillance video showing the actual shooting. And we do want to warn you, this is graphic. Dayton police say Connor Betts started shooting as he made his way towards a bar called Ned Pepper's. Now, you can see in this video here people falling to the ground and taking cover. Someone from that bar grabbed the barrel of that rifle right before officers arrived and shot and killed Betts. And we're getting a lot more new information coming in just the last couple of hours. Tonight, we have a team of reporters covering every angle of this story. And let's start with Stacia Nikin. She's live in the Oregon District in Dayton, where this all went down. And Stacia, they just held a major vigil for those victims tonight. Describe the mood there right now.
Well, an hour ago, this street, this block, filled with thousands of people here to mourn, to pray, to sing, to give their thoughts, give their prayers, what they could in honor of the victims, the people who died here last night. And I want to show you some of what that looks like now at this hour. And the street is mostly cleared. There are a few people still here mourning, they're crying, they're praying, and they're leaving mementos. They're leaving candles, they're leaving flowers, they're leaving hearts. Some of the hearts there, I can see one of them, written with the words, "You are loved." The folks here, in some way, trying to be part of the healing process that now begins. The message is, Dayton strong. We heard that loud and clear tonight here in the street in that vigil. And Jeff Reddick has more about what we heard tonight during that time. Jeff.
Well, this is a community station, of course, that is weary of having to deal with challenges over and over. We, of course, saw the tornadoes that ravaged neighborhoods to the north of downtown just a few months ago. Tonight, they were out here again together, but shoulder to shoulder across East 5th Street. Some of them crying together, some of them singing together, some of them begging for politicians to act, but all of them coming together, most of all, to mourn.
we bought some flowers for them because they have like a tragic end of their life.
For Evelyn Velasquez and her mom, Karina, it's hard to find the words for why they came.
You know, it's like, I'm emotional.
Even through a language barrier, their intention's clear, laying down 9 roses for the 9 lives laid down in Dayton.
Even in the darkest times.
Those lives lost, the reason that thousands more found themselves together in the Oregon District Sunday night. Standing next to the bullet holes left behind by the lone gunman, this crowd cried out for action, even drowning out Governor DeWine.
Because we know that we cannot. We also know that we want.
For every act of hatred, there are a million acts of kindness. Could I give either one of you a hug?
Ryan Allen came here from Cincinnati, offering free hugs to those that wanted, and at least one man who needed.
He said, I really needed this hug all day. So if I drove here for that, it took off work for that, for just that one hug, it was a million times worth it.
Amazing grace.
Truly amazing how quickly tragedy turns to action and love.
You saw there 10 doves were released at the end of, or during tonight's vigil rather, and one of them was actually for the survivors who are still affected. The other 9, of course, were released in memory of the deceased. Stacia.
Jeff and folks at home, as you can see, thousands of people here to pay their respects. And shortly after the vigil, people stuck around offering each other hugs, offering each other that comfort. But you heard them in that rally tonight. The people here, while they mourn, they are angry. And we heard loud calls for government officials here to, quote, do something. That's what we heard from the people here tonight. Well, there are still a few people here gathered now to pay their respects and to be in this space, this hallowed ground now. The focus right now is on the victims. Those victims: Lois Oglesby, Megan Betts, Saeed Saleh, Derek Fudge, Logan Turner, Nicholas Cummer, Thomas McNichols, Beatrice Warren Curtis, and Monica Brickhouse. One of those victims had ties to Central Ohio, Derek Fudge. We talked with his sister earlier today. You can imagine the heartbreak that family is going through tonight and what has changed in their family over the last 24 hours. Ben Garbrick talked to Derek's sister today, and he has this report.
Well, Stacia, she's remarkably composed, the sister of Derek Fudge. She's leaning heavily on her faith and focusing on the happy memories she has with her brother. She tells me she's grateful her nephew and niece who were with him were able to escape uninjured.
And he just loved life. He loved life.
Twyla Southall's faith in God is what is keeping her together.
And so there's a scripture that says that God gives us a peace that we can't understand. And that's the peace that I have right now.
She just saw her brother Derek Fudge earlier Saturday during a family cookout in Springfield.
It was good seeing him. He was happy. He was excited. He had his dog in the car. He loves his dog, Lucy Lou.
She could not have known then that would be the last time she would see her brother.
I'm glad that I got to see him. I got to see him in a very positive, fun environment, and I'm sad that we won't get to see him like that again.
Twyla tells me her brother was out celebrating in Dayton with his son, his fiancée, and his daughter and her husband. Derek was getting food from a taco stand with his son and his fiancée when they saw the shooter.
They said they saw the man walking towards them with a mask on, and my nephew thought, it looked weird. But he didn't think it was, he actually thought it was someone clowning, just acting crazy.
She says Derek was one of the first people shot. Somehow, the rest of his family was not injured. His son saw his dad bleeding from his head.
You can't unlive that. Once you've experienced it and seen it and held them in your hands when they're breathing their last breath.
Twyla says Derek was the kind of man who always picked himself up when life knocked him down.
None of us know the number of our days, and so you gotta make them all count.
Derek Fudge lived in Springfield, where he and Twyla grew up. She says he was in a good spot in his life and was happy when she saw him earlier that day. Fudge was 57 years old. I'm Ben Garber, Fox 28 News.
Ben, thank you. We've heard a lot from investigators and law enforcement throughout the day. What they have accomplished in their investigation over the last 24 hours is nothing but miraculous. The details they have been able to find out and the things they've been able to learn about the shooter. And I want to go now to Tom Bosco, who joins us live now from what they've uncovered there at his home. Tom?
Yeah, we are out here by his home here. The street, though, is still blocked off to the Betts home. Police telling us they're doing that to protect the privacy of the family there. Now, in the meantime, we have learned that Connor Betts got into some trouble when he was in high school for threatening people. It's a picturesque neighborhood about 10 miles from downtown Dayton.
If I was picking a place to live, this would be these two cul-de-sacs here. It's just super quiet and nothing happens here, and it's just nice. So it's a little surprising to everybody involved.
But at the end of this street, the home where Connor Betts lived with his sister and parents. The 24-year-old Betts had been a student at Sinclair Community College. His 22-year-old sister Megan at Wright State University. But now both are dead after the shooting in the Oregon district. Megan was one of the 9 people shot by her brother Connor, who was then shot and killed by police. Now, revelations: Connor was kicked out of Bellbrook High School for making a kill list. One of the names on the list, Spencer Brickler.
My freshman year, I saw him get pulled off the bus. I look up and there's 2 police officers standing on the bus, asking him to get off the bus and go with them.
School resource officers or
no, actual police officers? Yeah. Actual police officers.
School officials today would not talk about the discipline, but confirmed that Connor graduated in 2013. Bellbrook police also did not mention the incident. They were on the scene this morning to assist the FBI search the Betts home. What agents found is still unknown. What they left behind is a devastated family.
Family is here. Family is obviously in a state of shock. We are doing, our very best to give them as much privacy as possible.
Sinclair Community College confirming that Connor Betts was studying psychology when he was enrolled there at Sinclair. Wright State today confirming that Megan Betts had been studying earth and environmental sciences. From Bellbrook, we'll send it back to the Oregon District and News Station.
All right, Tom, thank you. Back here, once again, in front of Ned Pepper's bar. You can see the memorial here. It is growing, and by tomorrow, it's likely to be larger than what you see right now. That's what we're hearing from the folks here. They are saying Dayton Strong is definitely the message, but also they want people to come back to the Oregon District. They want people to be here. They want people to live. They want people to continue to celebrate this area and the revitalization that they've seen recently. They want that to continue. And they expect this time by tomorrow night, this will have been one of the busiest days they've seen in a long time. They say that usually on a Monday, pretty slow going in this part of town on a Monday, but they don't expect that to be the case tomorrow. Tomorrow they expect this to be an area that is full of people, that is full of love, as this community continues to work to be Dayton Strong. Rodney, back to you.
All right, thank you, Stacia. Certainly a very emotional night for many folks there. And tonight, the victims remembered at the State House. Folks gathering to pay respects and honor those who lost their lives. Now, many at that vigil heartbroken, simply trying to understand it all. Some simply standing in silence, others leaving messages on a memorial. The victims of the Dayton shooting honored, a senseless loss of life. The impact being felt here in Central Ohio and across the country tonight.